It's Steve and Laura time. Let's go. Come on. What we got going on here? Steve about to take a shower.
My robot.
Yeah. Can't forget that. I need that.
And I will always
Man, look. Look, that's one of the best entering the bathrooms I've ever seen. Laura walked up in there like she on Showtime at the Apollo. It's showtime at the Apollo. Come on, Laura.
move over with me.
Woo. Go silly, but Laura.
Who left the shower right?
Laura, Steve did, Laura. You don't want to jump in there right now. You don't want to get in there right now, Laura. You don't want to get in there right now. Steve. Steve, I tried to warn Laura. Steve, you are not alone. Laura's there with you. Look, although you're far apart, you're not far apart. You're not far apart at all. Not at all. Look at Steve stop right here. Look at Steve stop. Look. Steve, look at him. He stopped. Are you still screaming? Oh yeah, me too. Woo! Uh-oh. Steve and Laura.
Hello, Laura. Don't you ever knock?
Oh, wow.
I live here.
Right. Now look, we just gotta point something out. They're touching right now. It's so intense. You can almost feel it through the TV. But isn't it interesting? Laura could have easily just walked in, and we about to examine this for a second. Laura could have easily just walked in and said, "Hey," and kept it moving. She's done that before, right? And Steve, was sitting down. He could have stayed sitting down. That boy threw the book out when Laura walked in. Threw the book. You know what I'm saying? Forget my studies, okay? And what did you see happen with Steve and Laura do? That's why it's not surprising that they ran into each other in the shower, because they gravitate to each other. We're going to bring this back. So here we go. So let's just break this down. Laura, she walks in. Steve is sitting down, on his study mode with Myra. Laura could have easily just walked in, said her hey, and, kept it moving. But she doesn't do that. Steve could stay, sitting down. He's sitting down right now. Sitting down, continue reading his book, say hey, give her a little wave. You want to pound her up? Bow, bow, pound her up, And then he could have went on about his business. But no. Steve, this is why they ran into each other in the shower, because they gravitate to each other. This is what they do. What happens? Where are they at?
Hello, Laura. Don't you ever knock? I live here.
So I'm just saying, did you see how Laura went Steve? Are y'all seeing this? Laura went Steve's direction. Steve got up from out of his seat, threw the book. Did y'all see that? Book don't care. You know what I'm saying? Education don't care right now. Threw the book over there to the side and gravitated towards Laura. And mind you, again, all this is in front of Myra, but I told you the others don't get it.
Steve? Hi.
They're so awkward right now.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. You? Good. What's going on here?
Myra. Some things you just don't need to know, girl. You just don't need to know.
I gotta go. Bye.
Now, like I said, what you saw what Laura just did, Laura could have easily done that. But the question is, why didn't she do that? And why did she stop? And you see, it wasn't even just she stood in the kitchen. That girl went and stood right next to Steve. And it's because she's feeling him out, because, you know what I'm saying, she's trying to get a feel for what he's feeling.
What's going on between you and Laura? I accidentally saw Laura.
Mm-hmm.
In the pub.
Yeah, Myra. Yep, all of that.
What did you feel? Nothing. I never touched her.
No. He didn't touch her, but he did get a little sneaky peeky peek, though. He did.
I meant emotionally. I was mortified. I was humiliated. So you were embarrassed for Laura. For the both of us. I was naked too.
You know what's funny is this is what I keep saying. The fact that Myra said, how did it affect you emotionally? Is that not obvious to her? This is what I mean by the others don't get it. Like, do you see how awkward Steve was? Do you see how awkward Laura was? Right? She's the one that said, what's going on? So that would be an indication that it is affecting him emotionally. Myra just sometimes just don't get it.
How much did she see?
Ooh.
Well, Ladybug, let's not get into specifics.
Ooh. Myra, you don't want... Myra, sometimes things are better not knowing. You don't want the details. You don't want the details, Myra. You don't want the details.
How much did she see?
You don't want the details, Myra. You don't want it. You don't want the details, Myra. You don't want the details. Here, just want to point this out real quick. Like, this is right here why Steve loves Laura and why Myra and Steve's relationship never grows. Because what Myra just said to Laura, like, don't you ever not, we can hee and ha about it, but really it's disrespectful. It's, and you see how Laura responded just by saying, I live here, right? And that is the difference between Myra and Laura, and that is why Steve, continues to love Laura, and their relationship as friends continues to grow, and why Steve and Myra's relationship is stagnant. And you see the way that Steve is looking at Myra now, because that's disrespectful. First of all, you're a guest of a guest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't invited by anybody that like lives there. Steve is a home guest, right? He's living there now, but he's still a guest nonetheless. And Myra is a guest to the guest, and she doesn't know her place all the time. But I just want to really kind of point that out, that those are the things that keep Steve and Myra at a stagnant place. And this is why Steve and Laura continue. I'm trying to tell you, Steve is paying attention to stuff like that. It seems we have a situation on our hands. But, the one thing, first and foremost, that I love about this so much is that you see Steve and Laura's innocence. And, both of them, when the screaming match, they're screaming at each other. But that's really what you saw, is the purity of them, their innocence. And, let's remember, like I said before, this is, I'm not going to call it a common interest, but this is, Steve and Laura have the same perspectives and ideas on those same things. And so as we know with Steve, his plan has always been to see Laura like that on the wedding night, and Laura, not necessarily Steve, but Laura still has that same mindset that she wants to wait until marriage, and so I think it kind of builds this thing here, where you just get this screaming match. But I think that's what makes this very innocent. And I would say that I really like is that, how they responded in the same way, because they believe the same thing about these things, and, you look at it and people will say, oh, well, nothing went down because they're friends. And I'm just like, y'all never heard of friends with benefits? Y'all heard of stuff like that? No, nothing happens in this moment because of the character that is Steve and Laura, because they are in agreement on these type of things. We have to think about, did we really think this wasn't going to happen? That Stephen, like I've shown time and time again, and we will continue to see, is that Steve and Laura, they gravitate to each other. Most of the time it's very innocent. Maybe they run into each other at the cookie jar or something like that. But this time now they're under the same roof. And so they end up running into each other in the shower. And I don't think it's something that Harriet and Carl even considered. I don't think it's something that Steve and Laura consider, that they have a gravitational pull to each other. And, you get situations like this. But, what I think is very interesting And it's going to be interesting. Like I said, is like, this is another one of those hard situations. Adversity has come knocking. Y'all see the knock? This is a hard one, right? The adversity comes knocking once again. What I also like is that how they're dealing with it, like Steve and Laura do, in such a respectful, very clean, pure, type of way. Your fleshless situation that only Steve and Laura can kind of navigate in the purest way. And that's what I love. That's what I love about Steve and Laura, and that's what I love about Family Matters. But yeah, love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.